Ferrari fans, you won't believe what just happened at the Dutch GP. Zandvoort was supposed to be the turning point, but instead, it became a complete disaster. Both Ferraris out of the race, 0 points, and now a leaked radio conversation that has the entire F1 world talking. Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, furious, frustrated, and letting their emotions spill over the team radio in a way you've never heard before. What really happened inside Ferrari? Is this the breaking point for Hamilton's big gamble? Or the moment everything changes? Stay tuned, because this isn't just a race weekend, it's a Formula One earthquake. Ferrari arrived at Zandvoort under enormous pressure after a season filled with strategic misfires and disappointing results. This was supposed to be the weekend to set things right before the home race in Monza. Instead, they walked away with nothing, a double DNF that stunned the paddock. The first major blow came from Lewis Hamilton. His crash at turn 3 brought out the safety car and left everyone watching in shock. After the incident, Hamilton admitted, "I'm not really sure what caused the crash. As I went up the bank, the rear snapped out and I couldn't recover. It was a bit twitchy, the car." Think about that. One of the greatest drivers in the history of Formula One. A man who built his career on precision and control, admitting that he had no idea what happened. That's more than a problem, that's a warning sign. 15 races into the season, and Hamilton still doesn't fully understand the SF5. Hamilton sounded frustrated, but composed, saying that he felt good pace in the car and believed he was catching George Russell. But in a split second, it was over. And here's the painful truth. That crash means Hamilton now holds an unwanted record. The most Ferrari starts without a podium, 15 races, for a driver of his stature. That's shocking, and just when it seemed like things couldn't get worse for Ferrari, they did. Charles Leclerc had been perfectly placed for a big push. For once, Ferrari's strategy looked on point. They called him in for a hard tire switch at exactly the right time, and the Monegasque driver was preparing to attack. A podium finish was within reach. Then came Hamilton's crash. The safety car erased all the momentum, and before Leclerc could fight back, disaster struck. A collision with young Mercedes talent Kimi Antonelli. Charles had no chance. Cold tires, tight pit exit, and a car too close for comfort. After the race, Leclerc didn't hold back. "It's a mistake from Kimi. You've got to be very aggressive on a track like this to overtake. Maybe it was a bit too much," he went on to touch my rear left, and that was the end of my race. You could feel his frustration. He didn't even return to the garage. Instead, he sat near the crash site, helmet still on, watching the race play out from a distance. That wasn't just anger, that was doubt. And in this sport, doubt can be dangerous, because when the first big opportunity comes knocking, a driver with doubt starts to wonder if he should stay or go. But this wasn't just about bad luck. It was a reflection of Ferrari's season as a whole, progress on paper, failure on track. The SF25 has shown flashes of speed, but inconsistency and poor adaptability have haunted them all year. High-speed corners, a nightmare. Tire management, questionable. And strategy? Well, the memes write themselves. Now, the team heads to Monza, the temple of speed. With the weight of an entire nation's expectations on their shoulders, fans will dream of a repeat of last year's brilliance when Charles Leclerc held off Oscar Piastri to claim a famous victory. But the truth is, Ferrari looks fragile right now, and Monza is not the kind of place where you can afford to be fragile. Yet, behind all the drama, something else has been happening, something that could change everything for Ferrari. Because while the headlines scream failure, Lewis Hamilton has been quietly undergoing a transformation. When he left Mercedes after 20 years, Hamilton expected challenges. What he didn't expect was just how difficult adapting to Ferrari would be. Early in the season, he sounded frustrated and even questioned his own performances, calling them useless at times. It was tense, and it showed. But then came the summer break, and something changed. Hamilton admitted that both he and team boss Fred Vasseur underestimated the challenge of leaving a team he knew inside out for a completely different culture. At Maranello, this wasn't just about driving a new car. It was adapting to an entirely new philosophy. After years at Mercedes, where everything felt second nature. Hamilton had to start from scratch. Instead of dwelling on frustrations, he made a conscious decision to adapt. He began working closely with race engineer Riccardo Adami, tweaking his driving style, searching for marginal gains, and squeezing every ounce of potential from the SF-5 at Zandvoort. Despite the crash, there were signs of real progress. His pace was promising. For the first time this season, Hamilton looked more at ease behind the wheel. And that's massive, because if Hamilton is finally settling in, it could be the turning point Ferrari desperately needs. This shift in mindset didn't just change Hamilton, it lifted the entire team. After a disastrous 2024 filled with errors, morale was rock bottom. Every failure felt amplified under the spotlight of the tifosi and the relentless media. But Hamilton's new approach, celebrating small wins and focusing on solutions instead of setbacks, brought a renewed sense of belief inside the garage. Mechanics, engineers, strategists, everyone feels the energy. If Hamilton can adapt, they can too. And let's be honest, in Formula One, confidence is everything. A united team can find performance where a fractured one can't. Hamilton summed it up best. Being a champion isn't just about winning. It's about how you fight when the odds are stacked against you. That's exactly what Ferrari needs right now. Resilience, focus, and a leader who refuses to quit. If this mindset sticks, it might not just save Hamilton's season, it could save Ferrari's future. So here we are, heading into Monza, Ferrari's biggest race of the year. The question is simple: can they deliver? The odds look stacked against them. The SF-25 still struggles in high-speed sections. The gap to Red Bull and McLaren isn't closing fast enough. And internally, the pressure is boiling over. But if there's one thing history has taught us, it's that Ferrari has a way of surprising people when you least expect it. Last year, Charles Leclerc delivered a masterclass at Monza to win in front of the home crowd. Could it happen again? Logic says no. But logic rarely applies when the tifosi are involved. They don't care about wind tunnels and lap times. They care about passion, about that flash of brilliance that makes this sport magical. And for all the chaos, Ferrari fans have one reason to hope: Lewis Hamilton hasn't given up. He's still fighting, still believing, and sometimes belief is the first step to victory. What do you think? Has Lewis Hamilton made the biggest mistake of his career joining Ferrari? Or is this the start of an epic redemption story? And should Charles Leclerc trust the project or start planning his exit? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm reading every single one. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, share this video with your fellow F1 fans, and subscribe for more Formula One stories you won't want to miss. Turn on notifications so you never miss an update. The next video is right here. Click it now and keep the adrenaline going.